Hey, what's going on? This is Nurse MJB. I'm coming to you from my car. Yes. No, just kidding. Okay. But I wanted to come on here and share with you some health and wellness information involving lifestyle changes. I know that there are many people on lifestyle journeys throughout the year, but a lot of people start their lifestyle journeys as a New Year resolution. And so it is now 2025. If you're watching this video, it is January. We're almost halfway through January already. And if you see me looking up and down, it's because I'm driving. But a lot of people go on lifestyle journeys, but just to either reset, their lifestyle, or to do something different, or to just start something. Okay. And oftentimes we make these decisions, we make these goals for every new year. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I find myself reverting back or not completing it, or every year is I'm gonna start again, and we end up literally spinning out of control. Okay. Or we're trying to do the same thing and expect different results. So this year I started a challenge that I found. I have no idea. I'm telling you, sometimes when you put information out in the universe, it will come back to you as long as you speak it in depth and faith in your soul. And so there was a salt, oil, and sugar-free challenge that came across, but I was originally watching a video with the coach. Her name is Lisa A. Smith. She was talking about chronic stress, guys. Chronic stress. How to remove, not manage, chronic stress. And then that's when the Plant Protocol SOS Free challenge came about. I signed up immediately just from the way she was talking. Oh my gosh. But I'll share her link and the challenge in the box. Of course, it'll probably be over by the time you see it, but there are challenges that she does throughout the year. So if you are willing to, take a bet on yourself and do something absolutely different, I will challenge you to do it, because I'm going to talk about it on here. So the reason and my background, other than you heard Nurse MB, obviously I'm a nurse, but I'm a wife, a mom of 2 boys, and I have 2 bonus girls, and I'm also a registered nurse. And I've been in that profession now for 13 going on 14 years, mainly in the pediatric field. And for y'all that don't know what pediatrics, that is in the children's field from birth all the way up till 21 years of age. And I've done many different settings within pediatrics. And one of the things that I've noticed is that we have an epidemic, an obesity epidemic among children. And also we have a trending going up, not in the right direction. Okay. It's a trending issue with preventable diseases, chronic diseases that mostly happens around adulthood, like type 2 diabetes, hypertension. Why are kids having hypertension? And cholesterol, high cholesterol issues, fatty liver, and as well as just gastrointestinal, which is your digestive situations. So that is very concerning to me. And so I decided that I wanted to take my practice and incorporate education and coaching around, and I'm still building on that, but that is what my focus is as I, move forward, not only through my lifestyle, but teaching parents how to help their children overcome obesity and also those lifestyle preventable diseases that are happening, and as well as preventing them. Why? Because wellness starts from the beginning of life. A lot of those wellness things that we teach our children comes from lifestyle. It comes from our own habits, the habits that were passed down to us. And a lot of people say, well, it just runs in my family. Let me just be very clear. And it hurts to hear that, especially when I'm looking at a child that has no options, from, they can't buy their own food. They can't go grocery shopping, or you won't take them grocery shopping. Kids eat what we put in front of them. They eat what we put in front of them as in the house. If we pull up to a fast food spot, or more often than we cook, we have junk snacks, we have refined sugars, we have a bunch of trash that is constantly in their face. Not only in their face at home and in the fast food, but also in the schools, believe it or not. They have vending machines in there. There also are junk snacks that's in the cafeteria that they're giving options to. And the reason that I find that that's a problem is that, and how can we change it, is going to the school board meetings, going to the town hall meetings, and discussing what is on this food. If it is something that you want to change about that situation, then yes, you go to the school board. If you're not even trying to change it, then it'll never get changed. And so that is what I, educate about, is in the area of lifestyle habits that to help our parents create for themselves, so that children will also do the same thing. Because this generation, I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. So I was in that era where everything was do as I say, not as I do, and with a little bit of, leeway. And so our children, I have preteens, and mines are not trying to hear that all the time. Oh, there are some things that is, if I say it, I say it and do it, okay, for the better of your own self. But when it comes to, hey, go exercise, hey, go eat that apple, hey, go eat this, and I'm putting chips in the house, or snack bars, or sodas, and all kinds of other foolishness, and I'm eating it, what do you think your kids are going to do? They're going to do the same thing. They follow. They look at you. You are the role model, the example for your children. So I'm not going to go any further than that. I'll go on that in another video. But I wanted to share my lifestyle journey, because along with educating, I want to be that example. I'm not going to be the, do as I say type of nurse, because that is very hypocritical. I'm sorry. I hate living like that. And I'm being transparent. I've been on a health journey in 2007 after I had my boys, and a hernia repair. I was well over 40 something pounds overweight, and I just couldn't take it no more. Was having digestive issues. And somewhere along the way, after I had my transformation and held it off for 3 years, I sunk back down into a place. I'm not sure where I was, but I ended up consuming junk food, fast food, not even really fast food, but there were places I was being selective with fast food, as if it makes a difference. But I was in that space, and I don't know where I went with that, and I started to notice that the digestive issues were ramping up, and still to this day I still am overcoming that, because that is why I went on this lifestyle journey. I did not have those issues when I didn't have them when I was on my first transformation. I was able to combat it and overcome it and put it in remission. And of course, after you start to feed your body the processed foods and all of that other stuff that serves no purpose, what happens? It goes right back to the same, it goes back and says, well, I guess this is how we thrive. And so I ended up saying yes to this challenge because I needed a change. I don't like to be uncomfortable. And I know it's so comfortable eating the junk, eating the snacks. And oftentimes it's because we use food as a way to, deal with our hormones, or deal with changes that are going on, or deal with emotions. And so we're emotional eaters. Some of us are addicted to food. And then once you, consume sugars and different types of foods that are really no good, what you end up doing is also changing your gut bacteria to now crave it. You introduce the parasites, you introduce the toxins, and then the gut is like, okay, well, I'm not sure what to really do with this, but I guess I'm supposed to process it, so I'm I'm going to do something with it. And in the same token, you're introducing toxins, parasites, trash into your body that is basically trying to accommodate what it is that you're doing. And every day your body is just taking its toll. It's getting a hit. It's craving the good stuff, but it doesn't know when you're going to get it. So it has to do something with what you put in there. And a lot of times what I find that I've done also, or other people have done through what I've coached, some adults so far, is we find these quick fixes like detoxes, and I love a good detox. However, if you're not, that is not the remedy. If you are not also feeding your gut as you're detoxing the stuff that it needs, then you're going to just end up retoxing. So what was the real purpose? Okay, are you just trying to get a quick fix, or do you actually want to make these changes in your body to where you're feeling better, your quality of life, you can sleep good, you can stay on task, you can go and write that book that you've been trying to write, you can go and start that business that you've been wanting to serve. You are serving in a capacity where you feel like you're your optimal self. So I went through this challenge, and it is not only sugar and oil and salt free, but is vegan plant-based. It is a plant-based lifestyle. I do not consume any more meats, and that's including fish, shellfish. I don't consume any byproducts of animals, believe it or not. And this was a hard shock on my body because I was born and raised and continue to eat meat, okay? And I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world? Like, your body's going through these changes. Needless to say, I am grateful that I went through this process. It has taught me so much about myself, and it showed me that, and I'm not saying for everybody that it will work. I'm not saying that if you eat meat that you will ultimately have issues later on down the line. I just know that consuming a lot of meat for years and decades, and sometimes it might not even have to take that long, but the animal fats and all of the different pesticides and the things that they are eating, they're giving antibiotics that you will ultimately consume. These things are developing in your body, and they're creating an environment where it's inflaming your guts, it's inflaming the organs, that is getting the nutrients that it needs. But again, if you eat a meat diet and you are doing just fine and everything is, and you feel good, then go forward with whatever it is that you do. I'm just saying that this experience eating plant-based so far in the month of January has been a game changer for me, because my issue was the gut. I don't want to end up getting to any point of no return where I have a disease or something that is going to require some more harder therapy or intervention with treatments and stuff. I don't want to get to that point. And so, yes, I was diagnosed with diverticulosis years ago and was able to keep it in remission. And then very recently, unfortunately, I remember the doctor telling me that he believes that I have irritable bowel syndrome, IBS mixed. So that's a mixture of constipation and diarrhea. And so I've noticed that incorporating more plant-based foods is that my gut was so jacked up, all right? And because what I'm experiencing is some symptoms that many people will not probably want to go through, in terms of the bloating, the gassiness, or sometimes your bowels will change on you because your body is like, well, what in the world was that? It tasted good. I know I was supposed to eat that, but the gut bacteria that you currently have in there, when you're making those changes to a more plant-based or a wholly plant-based diet, your gut is not the same. Your gut does not have the same bacteria that will process that naturally. It has a different type of gut bacteria. And so your body's going to now have to go through these changes. And I'm not saying it's never going to get there. However, it's going to take some time, because you have to think over the course of decades, however long you've been eating certain foods that you know were no good for you. Okay, you know you were just junking it down. You know that you were overeating. You know that you weren't getting enough plants. Okay, even if you are a meat eater, you know you're not eating enough plants. You tried to substitute it with, potatoes and rice and all. That is a carbohydrate, which is still good. Do not get that twisted. It wasn't plant like those greens and your legumes and things like that have fiber in it, as well as other important nutrients and vitamins. So you were leaving stuff out, even if you were consuming an increased amount of plants. It wasn't a seeded plant. It wasn't a green plant. And so those changes that your body is having to go through is trying to regenerate itself, and it's trying to, go in a different direction. And that is what I experienced. And I'm still having some of the bloating and the gas, but I'm also confident that as I will do whatever it takes to get back into remission, because I don't want to end up on medication. I don't want to go to a colonoscopy and they tell me that there's something there that I now have to again take a treatment for, that I'm really not going to want to take in order to preserve life. All right. I don't want that. And so I had to mentally say enough is enough. And that's what I did. I said enough is enough. And I was tired of feeling like crap, trying to comfort myself. And I was also showing my kids, even though my kids and I keep fruit in the house. I keep certain vegetables in the house that I know that they loved. I raised them on it. And so I'm so glad that I taught them from young, because they're still eating it without me even having to tell them. But it also was an oxymoron and hypocritical of me to also tell them that and then invite those chips and stuff into my home, to invite cakes and stuff into my home, and I always told myself I wasn't going to do that. And so I felt as a nurse that I was doing the exact opposite of what I teach. And so I said, I'm not going to continue to do that. We are going back to where we were. And I'm not sure if I will stay plant-based, because I don't know. I just know that I don't want to go back to the place that got me to where I'm at now, where I have to go into this mode that I need to fix myself. Okay? I never wanted to get this close to family genetic, what people like to say, issues, where you have diabetes, high blood pressure, high risk of cancers, all that stuff, liver issues, heart attacks. You're in that zone and you don't want to get to that place. And my family history is almost probably as long as a felony rap sheet. Okay. And I said, no, we're not doing this. And a lot of people say, oh, it just runs in the family, you're going to ultimately get it. Do not let society or any person, healthcare professionals, yes, I am one, but I too do not like to hear that, because it is not the majority of it runs in your family. What runs in our family is those lifestyle habits, those habits that were passed down to us, and we were not told, or may not have been taught, that we have to do something different. Now we're in an information age that is consumed with talking about health and lifestyle, whether you're going to get on a medication to coat the symptoms, or you're going to take the route and use the foods as the prescription. Okay. Which one you decide to use is totally up to you. If you want to continue to run in the family, then by all means, you got to do what makes you feel good. But for me, I said, I am not going to be another story. I am not going to allow my children to also have that same story, because only a small percentage of genetics passes on to you in the terms of diseases and certain things that happen inside the body. Okay. And certain things that do get passed down, that is like rare genetics or things like that, which is not those lifestyle diseases. Okay, we're talking about, Hersheymo, all that stuff. That's down the line. Okay, those are that 10% genetics is so super small. Okay, what I'm talking about is you and your children having high blood pressure. Why are children having high blood pressure? Not only is it physical, but it's also mental, because we are stressing ourselves out. And so as parents, we have to become the example. We have to set the tone. We have to set the stage for our kids to be able to make those decisions when they get older. So you want to plant the seeds as they're young now. And you have to plant the seed and start with you. All right. And that's not meaning that when you cook and all this other stuff, you need to do things separate. You want to, while you're going on your journey, you want to invite your children into that lifestyle with you, right? So this whole process has been amazing. I feel like I have more clarity, and every day I feel like it's getting better. My sleep is improving just because I'm changing everything from the neck down. And I just not too long ago had a surgery to remove my ovaries and my one of my ovaries and both my fallopian tubes because of a cyst. And now I'm able to get back into exercising the way that I wanted to. And so now I'm focused, on that stuff, into strength training and cardio. Not too much, but because I want to do more strength. But I'm able to do it without feeling like it's tasking or it's overwhelming. So I just overall feel better, and I know that things are going to get much, much better. And I'm hoping that through what I have shared with you, that you will make some type of changes. You will start to say to yourself, I know I want to go on a challenge. I know I need to change something, but let me look back and see what exactly did I do every single year that I had a New Year's resolution. What did I do? What was the protocol? Was I trying to do this quick fix, or was I trying to do something that I knew I wanted to sustain, but I didn't quite know how to sustain it. I didn't know how to get over my cravings. I did it only for a short time, but those cravings were still there. All of this stuff was still there. I challenge you to find something that is not just going to be a community where you can stay inside for 30 days and then it's over. Find a community like I did and like I am in now that supports you after the fact. Okay, supports you and tells you, guess what? You got through this 31 days, 30 days, whatever month you're going to be doing it. But that was just the beginning, because you still have to keep going. All right. You have to stop the moderations, because moderations is what gets us where we are now. I've learned that. I was like, oh my God, that was such a game changer for me. We always talk about eating moderation. Listen. If you are constantly doing moderation on a particular food that you say you so-called crave, and you're trying to break that craving, guess what moderation is doing? It's still allowing that taste bud and that parasite or whatever is living in your gut to say, hey, we can still do it 1 or 2 days out of the week. 1 or 2 every other week, maybe once a month, but you're still craving it. So you're not pulling yourself away from it to put the stuff in your body that will cause you not to have the craving anymore. And that is where I'm at right now, is my cravings for that sweet has greatly diminished. I have not touched any refined sugars or anything with added sugar it's now what, day 18 of January. So we're almost at the 31-day mark, and I'm so super grateful that I found something that would help me stay in that, and I have an accountability partner as well as my family. And so through this journey, I'm going to continue to share how I've been doing, and also through that, I'm going to educate more parents, okay, on how to do it for their children so that they can change the outcome of their children's, diagnoses or potential diagnoses, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. I hope that this information was helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this with somebody, because I know we have to be able to change one life at a time. All right. And it starts with you. All right. Take care.